Take a live look outside of our Spanish cam. The sun is up. Looks like it's going to be a pretty hot, humid day out there. Storm Team 3 meteorologist Hannah Evans is here with your forecast first.
Yeah, Tyler, we're now in June. We're going to continue to see more and more hot and humid days, and one of those days is going to be today. We are already starting out pretty muggy this morning with temperatures in the 70s, 75 degrees in Savannah and Statesboro, 78 degrees in Darien, and we're tracking dry conditions on our Viper radar. But as for today, high pressure has moved out. It's still going to be dry, but we will see an increase in cloud cover throughout the area for today. That doesn't really help with the heat, though. It's still going to be warm and humid, so still a nice comfortable day to sit out on the beach because it is going to be a little bit cooler toward the coast. Inland, though, it is going to be in the low 90s, like 91 degrees in Rincon and Hampton, 93 degrees possible in Pembroke and in Hinesville. We'll continue to see this warming trend as we head into the second week of June. High temperatures do look to stay in the low 90s across the region. Heat index values will be closer to the mid 90s, possibly even the upper 90s at times, and I will talk a little bit more about this in just a few minutes. Tyler.
Thanks, Hannah. New this morning, one person is dead after an altercation turned deadly in Liberty County last night. Liberty County Sheriff's Office Detective Earl Mapp told WSAV that one person had been shot after some sort of incident that happened on Angler's Edge in Midway around 8:30 Saturday evening. The victim of the shooting was taken to an area hospital where he was later pronounced dead. Mapp said one person of interest is currently in custody. 2 people have been displaced after a house fire Saturday in Savannah's South Side. The Savannah Fire Department responded to the scene in the 100 block of Holland Park Court around 1:15 yesterday afternoon. Crews were able to contain the fire, but 2 adult residents of that house have been displaced. No injuries have been reported. The South Carolina Law Enforcement Division is investigating possible misuse of Hampton County vehicles and fuel resources over the past 3 years. Now, according to SLED, on May 20th, Hampton County requested an investigation into the sales, transfers, dispositions, and title records of county-owned vehicles, along with possible misuse of county gas cards and related financial handling dating all the way back to January 1st of 2023. At this time, the investigation is active and ongoing. Officials say more information could be released as this case continues. Well, a man is now charged in connection with a March homicide that claimed the life of a 73-year-old man in Glenn County. 28-year-old Robert Williamson IV has been charged in connection with the death of Robert Yon. Investigators say the homicide happened on March 24th at a home on Abbott Avenue in Glenn County. Williamson is now facing multiple charges, including malice murder, felony murder, aggravated assault, and exploitation of an elderly person. Authorities say Williamson is already in custody at the Glenn County Detention Center on unrelated charges. Well, gas prices in Georgia are starting to rise again, and that's because Governor Kemp's gas tax suspension has expired. Experts say for more than 2 months, the suspension has saved drivers in Georgia 33 cents on regular gas and 37 cents on diesel. Montria Waiters, spokesperson for AAA, says the prices will set in within 1 to 2 days and potentially soar to $4.20 over the next few weeks. She says conflict overseas, summer travel surge, and the suspension dropping, raising the price of gas, and she expects high prices to stick around for a while.
Right now, it's the conflict in the Middle East that's causing the gas prices to soar, right? So for as long as that conflict is going on, you would definitely, or we definitely expect to see prices kind of ebb and flow throughout the summer.
Waiters encourages everyone to fill their tank now before gas prices climb even more. And although the price of gas is expected to rise in the state, they are still below the national average, which is around $4.17. While here in Georgia, the average is around $3.85. Locally, gas is a bit higher. Here in Chatham County, it's around $3.98 and $4.02 in Bryan County. In South Carolina, the average is around $3.72, with highest prices in Jasper and Hampton County. Well, the Coastal Empire is home to thousands of active military members, and one local community is making it easier for these individuals to get jobs after their service. Earlier in the week at a Statesboro City Council meeting, officials signed an agreement with the United States Army and joined their Partnership for Your Success, or PAYS, program. That program matches outgoing service members with employers and guarantees interviews for applicants leaving the armed forces. Statesboro Human Resources Director Demetrius Bine says the city joined the partnership because former military members have the traits that the city looks for in their employees.
The city of Statesboro is part of a community that believes in the armed services. We support our military, and we also realize that when we're talking about those service members, they are already committed to serving their community and their nation. And so they're an ideal fit for employees of our organization.
Vine says city job openings are already visible on the PAYS website. Well, WSAV is your local election headquarters. Early voting begins tomorrow morning for Georgia's primary runoff elections. These runoffs will determine party nominees for several major races, including the Republican nominees for governor and Senate and the Democratic nominee for Georgia's 1st congressional district. Now, if you voted in the primary election last month and chose a party ballot, you will have to vote on that party's ballot again. If you chose a nonpartisan ballot or did not vote in May, you'll be allowed to choose your party's ballot this time around. Early voting runs from Monday through Friday. Election Day is on June 16th. The Hungry Club Forum in Savannah hosted Democratic candidates for Georgia's 1st congressional district. They spent time answering questions from the public last night, and WSAV's Isley Herschel was there. She has those details.
Amanda Hollowell and Joyce Griggs were just a few candidates that shared their thoughts on important issues. This forum gave these candidates a chance to speak their minds on topics relating to finances, education, and the overall reason they're running for the position. They were asked to tell the room what they would do differently to make it into office that hasn't already been done before. Griggs says she's going to enhance a coalition that's already been formed in the 1st District.
What I'm doing is enhancing that coalition to include those that have been left out. There's a lot of people that's been left out in this district. You have the poor, you have the rural poor, you have the urban.
Hollowell talked about what she's already started to do in Glenn County.
We are starting a petition in Glenn County to get over 2,500 signatures to make sure these people will talk about why the county needs to participate in public transportation.
Another big topic was about what programs they would expand to improve K-12 outcomes and expand careers in technical education.
We don't have a Department of Education, and so we need to reinstate our Department of Education, and that's probably one of the first things I want to do.
In high school, there should be some workforce type programs, some training programs.
They were also asked what targeted federal and state strategies they would pursue to stabilize prices for essential goods. To this, both had similar answers, saying they wanted to end tariffs and work to end the war in Iran to bring prices down. If she wins the runoff, Hollowell wants to address affordability and corruption.
The war that we're in is illegal, and the Congress has even decided that.
Griggs also wants to focus on affordability.
People are hurting right now. Prices are going up every day. People can't afford food.
Early voting for the runoff begins June 8th. Election Day is June 16th. Isley Herschel, WSAV News 3, on your side.
Meanwhile, the field for South Carolina's election is crowded. Andy Weber has more on the candidates running there.
The latest polling out from the Citadel this week shows the race for the South Carolina governor Republican nomination is a close one.
He admired the loyalty that I've had and thought I would be a great governor.
Trump-backed Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evette narrowly leads Attorney General Alan Wilson and Congresswoman Nancy Mace by a single percentage point.
A lot of the voters are taking a fresh look at new candidates.
Among 600 Republican voters surveyed, Evette had the support of 17%, while Wilson and Mace both came in at 16%. York County Congressman Ralph Norman and businessman Ron Reddy came in at 13 and 14% respectively.
South Carolina needs to be fixed. You need a fixer. You don't need a politician.
State Senator Josh Kimbrell, who suspended his campaign this week, just got 1%. The big takeaway, many voters are still undecided, with 23% of respondents saying they hadn't landed on who they'll vote for just yet.
I mean, what we asked in this case, if someone said don't know, we asked them one more time, like, who might you be leaning towards? And those folks still said, we truly are undecided. And I think that's because there's so many choices to make at this time.
Polls open on primary day at 7 a.m. and close at 7 p.m. If no candidate gets more than 50% of the vote, the top two will head to a runoff on June 23rd.
Early voting has officially wrapped up for South Carolina's primary elections ahead of Election Day on Tuesday. The South Carolina Secretary of State's office has released some unofficial numbers on the early voting period. So as of Thursday, June 4th, nearly 200,000 South Carolina voters have already cast their ballots. That includes more than 12,000 in Beaufort County and 2,400 in Colton County, 2,100 in Jasper, and 1,300 in Hampton County. Election Day is going to be on Tuesday, June 9th. For more information about this year's elections, both here in Georgia as well as in the Low Country, just visit WSAV.com/electionhq.